just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 84. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz. Thank you guys so much for coming to the podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify. And if you want to watch the video version, just head on over to YouTube and type in Bad Weather Fans. NBA basketball gets started in about a week preseason. Today, though, Alex, was media day. Nothing going on with the Knicks, and a Zoom circus with the Nets. Take away Kyrie Irving. It was a very pleasant media day, and there was a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff, and a lot of good stories, and everybody said the right thing. But who cares? Because Kyrie Irving was on Zoom, and holy shit, here we go. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm gonna have to get cracking me up. Take away Kyrie Irving, and everything went great. That's like the doctor who says, "Well, your kidneys are failing. You're gonna have a heart attack soon because your arteries are clogged, and you broke your arm. But other than that, you are perfectly healthy." You know, so it's just crack me up.
That's the story.
Yeah, there's a lot there with Kyrie. We'll get into that in a second. I'm just so happy that the Knicks are boring. I tried over dinner. I tried to watch some of the media day clips from the Knicks today, and I found myself browsing Twitter as the videos were going on. It was boring, and you know what? I love it. It's about time. The Knicks are boring, and they're successful, and they're competent. And everybody seems to be on the same page. They have the same coach 2 years in a row, and we're not clamoring for him to get fired. Where everything is just going, it's on the up and up for now, you know. And I'm just going to cling to that and be happy about that. And then you go across to Brooklyn, and it's almost as if Kyrie loves the attention of saying, "Respect my privacy." Yeah, I want everybody to look at me. Whoa. Respect my privacy, dude. Respect my privacy.
So they had media day and everybody was there. He was on.
Yeah, explain. Go for it.
He was on a Zoom call. So there was, the thing started and we heard from Durant, and the bizarre start with David Letterman was there asking questions. I don't know if that was.
Well, that was David Letterman. I heard all the silly questions. That was him.
It was David Letterman.
Why was it David Letterman?
I don't know what was. I don't know if it was staged. If it was so weird.
Maybe he's gonna be like on the Tonight Show or someone, it's just on Jimmy Kimmel or somebody, or not even, I know that's not the Tonight Show, but they're gonna be on something. That's so great.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
And he asked the question to KD, and his question was, "Why is your nickname KD?" And then he asked like something around, I don't know.
Are you gonna play your off days with the Knicks or something? He said something like that, and that's what his kid Durant's like, "Come on, dude, that's enough."
Whatever. That's a whole nother topic. It was
silly
funny stuff. The story.
Now that I know it was David Letterman, I wrote a tweet saying whoever this press guy was, they need to have his credentials stripped. And now I look like an idiot that I tweeted something like that.
It was
I didn't know that was David Letterman.
I was bored.
That's hilarious.
I'll go invade the Nets media day.
I gotta go delete that
James
tweet.
Harden was awesome. I love listening to him. He's a great interview. He's really fascinating. I really loved hearing him. There was news, I bet, essentially kind of about the contract extensions. Harden saying as much as he'd like to spend his career here, but things have to play out. We'll see what happens, blah, blah, blah. But the truth, the story is Kyrie Irving was asked, what's the deal? What's the latest with you? And he kept saying, and he kept repeating, I need my privacy. I'm a human being. Don't let me ask this question. And multiple people tried to get the question from him, and he just had the same standard answer. And what was kind of bizarre about the whole thing, too, was he was on Instagram Live doing this, so you could actually listen and hear the Q&A on his IG Live, which is where I was listening to it. And then when it wrapped up, he was still on Instagram Live, picked up his phone and was like, hey guys, there it was, here we go. And the whole thing was just bizarre. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I and the Nets made a deal with the devil. And right now, Kyrie Irving is showing in my opinion, some of the wackiness and the craziness and the selfishness that he is bringing upon this Brooklyn Nets team. You have every right to do what you want to do. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have to get vaccinated. I mean, we don't have to get into what our views are and think. I personally, I'm vaccinated. I think it's important. I think it's the right thing to do. If you don't want to, that's your prerogative. But when it's a bigger picture about a team and everything that's with it, when you don't get vaccinated, and these are the rules and these are the laws, these are the consequences that are going to come with it. And unfortunately, that's where we stand right now. It is odd to me. His teammates seem to support him and his teammates seem to be there for him. So with that in mind, I do think eventually this all gets worked out. But the part that I think would irritate anybody was when Kyrie's like, I don't want to be a distraction. But then he comes out and this is what he has created in saying that he won't play in games. And he's essentially become a distraction. Agree or disagree with him, he is. I mean, this is a huge distraction. How is it not? Now they're going into the season not knowing if he's going to play, not knowing if he's going to be in certain, home games. He'll be there on the road. It's going to be a spectacle. It really is. And I think once the season gets rolling and rhythm gets going, we'll find some normalcy with it. But for now, I mean, it's a complete and utter shit show with him.
Yeah, and it's almost as if why, if he's going to get it anyway, why didn't he get it already? What is over the next 2 weeks of training camp? What further research is he going to do that's going to cause him to get it or not get it? And it's just Bradley Beal didn't get it either, but at least he came out and said, "I'm not getting it. I just don't want to. I don't trust it." Whatever he said, I respect that so much more than what Kyrie is doing. Oh, respect my privacy, or it's almost a little narcissistic in Kyrie's way, because it's almost as if he enjoys this nonsense and this craziness. He did it last year too, before the season. What exactly did he do? Remember, he was something he didn't want to talk to the media, and then he went on Instagram and did some weird show with Karis LeVert came on, and this is like some weird stuff. It's just, what are you doing? And then it's like, you don't want all this attention. You want to be the private guy. But then, you go and do a movie, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's just this weird, twisted, kind of like, you can't wrap your head around what he's thinking. And is he really this person who wants to be private and respect my privacy? Or is he really this narcissistic kind of guy who loves everybody talking about him 24/7 and creates this situation where it's about him, and because he likes seeing himself on TV? I don't know. And that's what it's like, bizarre, because the real reserve shy guys are like Derrick Rose, are like Barry Sanders. Those guys are not on. I mean, they did their commercials and whatever endorsements. Why wouldn't you? You're making money, but they're not doing anything else to make it about themselves. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. Kyrie, to his credit, has given millions of dollars to foundations. The thing about it is, when he supports foundations, he doesn't go out there and tell the whole world, "Hey, look at me, I'm doing this." He just does it, and he gives support. And I apologize. There's something else he did that was wonderful over the offseason. That was a really great thing that he did, and he didn't tell anybody. He just went ahead and did it.
That's fine.
I just think in this circumstance, there's other people that are involved. And if he's so against the vaccine, if that's such a big stance for him, then he's going to choose not getting vaccinated over helping his teammates win a championship. And say what you want, see how you feel about it. That's going to be his ultimate choice. But like you said, then just go out and say that, "Hey, I'm really against the vaccine. It's something I don't want to do for X, Y, and Z reasons. Whatever it is, I don't want to do it. This is more important to me than playing basketball." Then just go out and say it. But now we're in this whole limbo thing. What do you want? What is he going to do? What's going on? His teammates then have to go out there and answer these questions. And I think Kevin Durant's so seasoned at it, he doesn't give a shit. And he's like, I could fucking pull anything out of my ass and help out with these answers.
He doesn't care.
But now it's okay. We don't know where things are. Where is it going to be? The team has to then deal with this. Just give answers. If you're against the vaccine, then you're against the vaccine, and then let the Nets move forward with plans. But we're in this limbo phase, and that's the part of it that's just irritating me. I have my opinions on the vaccination in general, but if you're not for it, that is your right, and I can't deny you that. If that's the way you feel, I don't agree with it, but if that's the way you want to do it, that's the way you want to do it. But there has to be some clarity to help out and know where the direction is moving forward. I understand it's your privacy and you don't want to talk about it, but this is a business that's being run and it impacts how they're going to plan their team, what they're going to do. Are they going to have 41 games where he's not there? I mean, and
Right.
then they're just
That's
going to have to figure
impossible.
that out. And then maybe the ordinance changes as you get towards the playoffs because knock on wood, like things get just better everywhere. I mean, is that a possibility? What a
Sure.
strange year it's going to be in Brooklyn with that part of it.
Yeah, and it's also weird. What if they get to the playoffs and let's say they play the Knicks in the playoffs? He's just going to sit out the whole series. They
Well,
play the
see,
Warriors in the finals. He's going to sit out the whole series in the finals. What do you like? What are you thinking about? Do you care? Do you even care? Like, he doesn't. It's one of those things that I've been saying, and I'm sure you're not going to really like it, but the Nets have to win as soon as possible because this is not going to last. And I've been saying it. And at first you're like, oh, they're going to resign. They're going to be here. They're going to be here. And yeah, they'll still be a good team. But the way they're constructed, it's not, this is like a ticking time bomb. You know, I'm sure Durant doesn't care. That's his best friend. And he's going to have his back publicly no matter what. Behind closed doors, he might be like, Kyrie, what the fuck are you doing? Can you just get the damn vaccine already? But and publicly, he's going to just laugh it off and say whatever. But do you think guys like Joe Harris are happy about this? Do you think, I mean, not to mention him, but, you know, just anybody, any player, Nick Claxton, anybody, eventually they're going to be continuously asked about Kyrie Irving and his vaccine. They're going to be like, enough of this fucking guy. Let's go play basketball. Let him sit home and go and watch YouTube conspiracy videos and let's go play some ball. Eventually they're going to snap. And it's enough.
That's the part that's so weird is these guys like him. And I know that's really
Right.
difficult for people. I know that's really difficult for Knicks
now.
fans. I
For
know
now.
that's what Celtic
For now.
fans understand. But everybody that plays with him has the utmost respect and has all the right things to say. Now, this is a whole different kind of circumstance. When he was gone for 3 to 5 games and he was out for personal reasons,
Whatever the reason.
whatever the reasons,
The team knew. Players, they knew what was going on.
but it was like
I'm sure
in the locker room, they're not going to say what's going on.
Right. It's like Dennis Rodman going to Vegas. I mean,
Whatever.
you know, whatever.
Right.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So there's that part of it. To answer your first question, but obviously, yeah, I want them to win the title now. I mean, last year you told me that if they didn't win last season, the window was over. I think the window.
No, I didn't say that. I said
did
they
say
need
that.
to win. They need to win as soon as possible because it's not going to be so easy every year. This is their year.
I get
and it's going to get harder and harder as years go on, as everybody gets older and they're more injured.
Sure.
And then Kyrie could
yes.
retire. I've said that he could just randomly retire.
Yes, this is, but I mean, this is, they're in the window. They're in it. So every year that passes, it passes, and it makes it even more difficult the next season to go out and win a championship. So don't get me wrong here. All I want for them is to win a title, but I'm not going to tell you if they don't get it done this year, it's an impossible task that can't be done moving forward.
Not impossible.
This is it. This is it. This is what they're going to do. And I wanted, they're in their window to get it done. I did want to bring this up because I think this is interesting. And I'm having to try to figure this out and interpret this, but let me read you a line about the ordinance and about the way it works in these cities for San Fran and New York. Okay. These laws apply only to players on the Knicks, Nets, and Warriors, and not members of visiting teams coming to play those clubs. The reason for that is the laws in both New York City and San Francisco have exemptions for out-of-town teams coming to those cities to play games. Those exemptions, however, do not exist for the home teams in those cities. So the way I interpret that is when the Nets go on the road, or if Andrew Wiggins comes to New York, he can play, right? Mm-hmm. If Kyrie Irving, then, if I'm reading this right,
that makes sense. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Kyrie Irving goes to the Garden, he can play in MSG because technically it's a road game, even though it's 8 miles, how many miles it is away.
Yeah.
But then if he's in Barclays, he can't play. To me, that's crazy, and that's just part of that's not an NBA thing. This is what a city's ordinance is. So that's why Bradley Beal, for example, is in Washington, and he's going to play in every game that he wants to play in. There's no rules
in New York and San Francisco.
But New York and San Francisco have these rules. This is what they've created. It's not a basketball thing. It's just a city rule. So they're going to have some issues unless there's a religious exemption, which Andrew Wiggins did not get. He tried for it, didn't get it. You know, and
I love that. What's the religion? The anti-vax religion? I go to the Church of Anti-Vaxxing. I mean, I don't know how that works.
I don't know that. I guess if
I'm not trying to make light of it for religious reasons. I'm not trying to make light of it. I just don't get it. What's the religious reason? Name the religious reason. I just would like to know.
So maybe the Nets right now, and I'm just keeping it straight. He's probably working on some sort of exemption that he's going to try to get out of this. And
Yeah.
I've said this, and I'll be completely honest. People are like, how could you root for the guy? I mean, it's getting harder and harder with stuff like this because I think this is bigger than basketball in a lot of ways. But at
Yeah.
some point, it's like, he is on the Nets team. If he plays, what am I supposed to
Who
do?
cares?
And it's not,
Yeah.
I don't want to minimize what is happening, but there's also the difference between somebody that's, you have a different political view, you have a different religious view, you have a different view on what a vaccination should be, is different than if something went out and there was some serious crimes or allegations. He's just putting his teammates in a tough spot, and he doesn't want to get vaccinated.
Right. Well, if you look at it this way, there's been plenty of athletes that have been arrested for committed crimes, like somebody like Rod Strickland or somebody like that who committed crimes of domestic abuse and things like that. But they're going to play on your team and you're going to root for them. You know what I'm saying? You're going to play like Dennis Rodman committed crime. You know, there's all these types of people. And I don't even know if Dennis Rodman committed crimes, but you know what I mean? Like there have been plenty of players, football players especially, that have done some terrible, terrible things. And they put that uniform on Sunday, and you're going to root for them. You know, there's no Kareem Hunt is running for a touchdown for the Chiefs yesterday. Chiefs fans are going nuts. You think they're thinking like, oh my God, he beat a woman, you know, and it's horrible. It's horrible to say, but you know what? That's just life. You know, it just, you root for the uniform, you root for the laundry. And going back to the exemptions for the cities, it's why the United Nations, to get off sports, the United Nations is able to have their General Assembly this week, and people that came in from other countries are not vaccinated able to go in the buildings because they have their exemptions from their countries. You can't tell somebody, a UN representative from another country where the vaccines are not mandated, that you can't come here. You know, they might have done something like that off the record that I don't know about, but you can't country to country, you can't mandate laws, and state to state, you can't mandate laws. It's bizarre, and it's something that's way over our heads. We don't understand things like that. You know, we don't get stuff like that. You know, so the point, and bringing it back to sports, Durant, he needs to understand what's more important to him. Is it winning a championship or defending your boy Kyrie? You know, because Durant has won his titles. He's won his MVPs. He's done everything he can in the NBA. Obviously, he wants to win with the Nets. You know, he gets more titles. He gets higher up in the rankings all time, et cetera, et cetera. But Kyrie is his best friend. And if he wants to win a title, he needs Kyrie there right now, because they're not going to trade him and get equal value at this point. You know, so is he going to pressure his friend to go get the vaccine, or is he going to play a season with half a Kyrie for half the season? Not even half the season, just like you're only playing on the road. And then what about Nets fans? That's not even fair to Nets fans. That's another whole topic altogether. You're paying for season tickets for the Nets. You want to see Kyrie Irving. You're not paying to see half the team or a guy never play at home. Like, that's horrible. I mean, you know, I didn't even think about that. I just want to bring up the Durant point, and that fan thing popped in my head. It's just, there's so many repercussions and a ripple effect based off Kyrie Irving's decision. There are ticket salesmen, there are vendors, there are people who are buying stuff, selling memorabilia. There's all types of things that people rely on Kyrie Irving playing to make money off of him. And that's why Kyrie Irving is paid so much money. And in the words of Biggie Smalls, more money, more problems. And you have to play. And if you have signed this contract, you have to play. And this is part of the rules to play. So, you know, either don't get it. I mean, in my opinion, get it, but he doesn't want to get it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't have to. He can quit. He can retire. He can do whatever he wants. And it's just, I know I'm going off on a tangent and probably not making much sense, but it's just not fair to the other players on that team. And I hope the Nets crash and burn, you know, but I just don't think it's fair to guys that are putting their whole career on the line. And then all the coaches and everybody that relies on this team winning for the rest of their lives, an assistant coach couldn't win a championship and then a head coaching job after this because of that. You know, look at guys like David Fizdale, rode the coattails of the big three in Miami, got a head coaching job, and now is on ESPN. What the hell has he ever done? You know what I mean? So he failed in Memphis and failed with the Knicks, and he's on ESPN because he knew LeBron and Wade. You know, so it's just not fair. And I don't think Kyrie understands his responsibility from that aspect. He obviously gives back to charities. Obviously is a really good person, and I'm not trashing him in that standpoint. I just don't understand. I don't think he understands, or He's just really narcissistic and loves being on TV 24/7.
He also could be really passionate about the topic, Alex. I mean, there's also that he could really.
So then say you don't want to get it.
Well,
so
I don't
then
know. I don't know the answer. I don't.
Yeah, that's
I don't
the thing.
know. I think that's kind of the core of where I'm annoyed.
Right.
There's a lot of things, but it's the idea of I'm going to have my cake and eat it too. I don't want to. I don't want to get vaccinated. I'm not going to play in these games, and I don't owe you anything to tell you the answer. And he's right. Like he doesn't have to. Selfishly, as a fan base and as the media, we're clamoring to want to know why the hell don't you? What is it that you're taking the stance here? Why are you against it? What are your teammates saying? So to play devil's advocate a little bit, and I'll give kudos to the Nets locker room. We'll see how long this goes. We'll see how long this can last. But there are so many veterans in there, and there are so many guys that have done so much in their career and understand how it's going to work that they're not. I get the impression that this locker room is stable and it's not. It doesn't matter. Like they're going to be fine without that because they have guys like. I mean, I'll ramble them off: James Harden, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills. These are Joe Harris. These are guys that are legit true veterans that I don't think the locker room will take a hit and will be fractured. It's not like what we saw with the Celtics, okay? Where, yes, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they were all really young players, and this Kyrie was the number one guy, really caused a fracture in the locker room. I do think because Kevin Durant is, say what you want about him and say that he's running the team and say that he's the GM, he is going to make sure that that locker room is stable and they are good that way. Now, I'm not telling you internally what's really going on behind the scenes, how they're really feeling, what they're saying to each other. That's a whole different conversation. But I think publicly to the media, they will hold it together for as long as they can and make sure that none of this bullshit gets out. Because I do believe at some point, Kyrie Irving will be out there. I do think at some point, now it might not be because of his willing, it might be because of rule changes, it might be because a whole other thing. He will be out there at some point. But it's funny because last year the whole thing with the Nets was the big three only played 7 games together. And then they'll get to the playoffs, they'll figure it out. They might have. They really might have if they stayed healthy. But
they would have. I agree. I think they would have.
It's going to be the same thing again, but it's going to be, not because Kyrie's injured, but because maintenance days. I mean, the Nets are interesting. There's no way around that.
Ownership can't be happy about that, man. They can't be happy about Kyrie Irving. They can't be happy about paying all this money to Kyrie Irving per season for him only to play in Atlanta, to only play in Chicago, to only play in Detroit, to only play in Miami, and not play at home. They'd rather it the other way. If they were going to choose, they'd rather him play home all the time and then take off the road.
That sucks.
That's not what these guys are investing all this money in him for. And that's another thing where I don't think he understands what people are invested in him. Even people he doesn't even know and has no interaction with.
He doesn't care. He
doesn't care. And that's the point.
He says, this is my life. I don't care if you want. He doesn't. So
don't play basketball. So don't play basketball because don't work a job. Run a construction company. Don't play basketball where people pay to see you and people make a living off of you that you don't even know. And don't do something else with your life. Give to charity. Make a community center, and it's all beautiful and it's wonderful. And I know he does that anyway, but to do all that stuff, you need to do this. And I know you have guaranteed contracts, so that you don't care, but have a little bit of a heart for these. I don't know. I'm going. I don't want to go too far. Do you know what I'm saying? Am I going too far?
No, I understand.
I understand. If I am, I mean,
I understand what you're saying, but I think it brings back to the core and the center of it. Like my heart is winning a championship, so I'm going to deal with all the bullshit that comes around with it because of just how good of a player Kyrie Irving is. And when he's on the court, he's making music out there with his teammates, and they look simply unstoppable when they're all together. So it's in a position where I get it, I understand it, and I'm frustrated by it. But at the same time, I just want to see this team do so well and perform so well that I will, just like Sean Marks and just like Steve Nash, sit through everything that comes around with the Kyrie Irving tornado. And then, fingers crossed when you get to the point and they're at the big plays, is he there? Does it matter? Can they win a championship? That's what it's all about here. And I do maybe it's my heart, maybe it's me just being really, really, really optimistic and really excited knowing how close I am to seeing my team capture its first ever NBA championship, that I will put it aside and keep my fingers crossed that he figures it out and the Nets figure it out and he can get out there. What else am I supposed to do? As a fan of the team, you just have to hope and pray that this is resolved and that he can get out there on the court and do what's best, and do what's best for his teammates and do what's best for the organization, and we can get out there. I agree with you, Alex. It sucks for people who spend their hard-earned money and want to go see Kyrie Irving play. If you've met me and you know me, I don't care. And I've said this a million times. Like when I would go watch net games and it's like, oh, there's a scratch. Charles Barkley isn't playing. Good. There's a better chance for my team to win. Now, obviously, I want Kyrie out there because I think they're going to have a better chance to win basketball games. But ultimately, it's about W's and it's about L's. And I apologize if people are pissed because they worked hard and they wanted to pay. They worked hard and they wanted to go see him play, and they saved up $400 and this was the deal. And like I've talked about on rest days, ultimately, it's about winning a championship. Now, this is very different. This is very different than a rest day. Different. I mean, here, let's be honest, Alex. The guy misses 20 games a year for whatever reasons anyway. So we just doubled it. What's the difference? He's going to miss these games anyway. Now he just has a reason. See, I think that's what would scare people is like Kyrie is if he's using this as a way to get out of games or something. And maybe that's why who knows? Who knows?
That's worse. So he's using the vaccine and messing with everybody's heads just so he doesn't play home games. But why are you on the Nets? Then why are you on the Nets?
He's lost credibility in trying to understand what he's done because of how many games he's missed, that it makes it really difficult. I'm not saying that's the case, and I don't think that is.
Yeah.
But people are like, there was a thing out there with like fake quotes from him, and people bought it. And I thought if you read the quotes, it's like it's absurd. But because of
that's what he wants. That's what Kyrie wants. He wants to keep up this narrative that it's everybody against him. But go ahead. I just had to say
because of his track record, people believed it, and that's a product of his behavior from before and the way he's
part of his game.
Yeah, it's just maybe he fuels off this. He might.
Does. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of narcissistic.
I personally, Alex, get like me when I do well and things. I like being the underdog myself. When people say you can't do this, I thrive on that, and I think a lot of people do. And maybe this is something like. This is Kyrie Irving using it to generate for his own brain. I don't know. But answers, I think it's a difficult pill to swallow, and we're going to have to because we really have no choice. When he says it's my privacy, what do you get? Like the reporters 3 or 4 times in a row? What are they going to? You can't. They're trying to ask different ways, and he's like, I know what you're doing here.
Like Belichick.
I had my question though. If I was a reporter, I actually had a question I would have asked Kyrie.
Okay, do it. Ready, go. Ask me. I'll be Kyrie. You go.
The Kyrie Irving, you're from New Jersey. You grew up a Nets fan. What makes it so special playing in front of the Brooklyn Nets fans? Why is it so exciting to play in front of them?
Please respect my privacy.
Like then at least it forces him to because he's not going to trash the fans because you can't do that. So he has to bring up what makes it so great playing in front of them. But then at the same time, he is telling you that he won't. So I would have found that to be an interesting contradiction because people tried. Malika Andrews tried. Bruce Beck tried.
Mahoney tried. Yeah.
He wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. No. And it's, I mean, we're going in circles and it sucks, man. It doesn't suck for me because I don't care as a Knicks fan. I'm happy that all this is happening, but it just sucks because we're talking about this nonsense, about something that's not basketball again with him, every year. Remember the bubble? He made the bubble about him because he was injured and wanted to go to the bubble. So he said, we shouldn't be going. We shouldn't put ourselves on display. Like, dude, you voted yes on the bubble. And now a month later, you're saying no when they set all this whole thing up, So and then a year later before training camp or a couple months later, I should say, the next season, he did something last year. I don't remember, but something with that. He didn't talk to the media. It was some kind of nonsense that caused drama.
Pawns. He called the media pawns.
Right. And then now this year is this stuff is just, and then he's not playing and he's injured every season. It's just, what is the juice really worth the squeeze, man? Like, is it?
It is.
I don't know.
It is. it is here, and it's not. And I was on the record of saying this: if Kevin Durant wasn't coming, it wasn't worth it. But like,
Right.
okay, yeah, is the juice worth the squeeze? The Nets have Kevin Durant, they have James Harden, every veteran that wants to be here because they want to go out there and win a championship. So
Right.
yeah, it was worth the squeeze on that front. I like we this goes back to our original conversation. I said, would you rather have Tobias Harris and D'Angelo Russell and build that young core, or go this route? And this route, that would have been fun. They would have had a nice little young nucleus. LeVert would have developed. You know my feelings on him. You know my feelings of Jared Allen. I was wrong
Dinwiddie.
about the James Harden
Yeah.
trade, but now it's like, okay, you could even argue that the Nets without Kyrie Irving are still deep enough and still have enough talent that with Harden and Durant and all the other pieces around them with Patty Mills, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap. They still have, Cam Thomas in his rookie campaign. They still have enough guys where they could go out and say, okay, I have belief that they could beat the Bucks with that healthy roster.
Huh.
It just when you add the third
Let me.
superstar, it puts them at a different level.
It
So
does. It does.
part of me is almost like they wouldn't have the same reward and greatness if Kyrie was gone. But you have to think if he wasn't there and the distraction was away, and then Nets could
Mhm.
just build this roster and build this team, maybe it'd be better in the long run.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? What would you rather have? Would you rather have this Nets mess circus but championship window, or would you rather have a team with an all-star that's paid well, not overpriced, an up-and-coming number 3 pick, an MVP coming off the bench, an all-star point guard trying to redo his career and resurrect his career, a potential defensive player of the year candidate at center if he stays healthy, or would you rather have that or what the Nets have right now?
Would I rather be the Nets or the Kings? I'd rather be the Nets.
I'm talking about the Knicks.
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood you. Would I rather be the Nets or the Knicks? I'd rather be the Nets. Not even close.
I'm just saying
Not even
because
close.
this is
Not
no,
even
I
close.
know. I'm being kind of funny, but it's just you look at the Knicks and their media day. We said it at the top. The media day was boring as hell. It was just a snooze fest, a complete snooze fest. Derrick Rose made a cool comment saying during his offseason when he was a free agent and negotiating, he put his phone away, didn't look at his cell phone for 2 months. Can you imagine doing that? He just let his agent call him and his brother call him, and his brother and his agent figured it out. And they said the Knicks step to the plate first. And he's like, let's do it. So that's kind of cool. RJ Barrett saying it was cool wearing Canada on his chest when he was on the team that didn't make it to the Olympics. He, a couple things, but it's boring. It's honestly boring. I couldn't watch it. I'm the biggest Knicks fan that I can think of. Everybody's a big Knicks fan, but I love the Knicks and I can watch all that stuff all day long, especially the first media day, new things. Oh, this is so cool. Let's see this guy in this uniform. I couldn't give a damn, dude. I got to be honest. Maybe it's, because the Jets kind of gave me such a bad taste in my mouth for sports today or anything, but I just didn't care. And I love it. I love it. I love the fact that the Knicks are motivated based off their season last year. I love the fact that they still have wiggle room with assets in the future. I love the fact that they have a number 3 pick that's going to his 3rd year with the second year with a good coach where he can actually develop. I love the fact that he has mentors like Julius Randle, like Kemba Walker, like Derrick Rose, like Evan Fournier. Like, I love that. I love the fact that Quickly is working hard. I love that. I just am so in love with this Knicks team. It is crazy. And the last time that I was this positive going into a season was before the 54-win year. And I think most Knicks fans agree with me that there's not many things that are very negative about this team right now. I feel like they could have done a little more, maybe keeping Bullock instead of Alec Burks, maybe adding another piece here or there, whatever. I'm not going to go through the whole offseason. And the trade on draft day didn't make any sense. Like we said on the last episode, we brought that back up, but I'm just so excited for this season. It is crazy. And
No, I don't.
I look at the Nets and I laugh. I'm like, this is what everybody said they wanted us to get. And proud of the Knicks in 2019. Sorry, I know you're gonna get mad, but I'm proud of the Knicks in 2019 because when they didn't get the big stars, and I said it at the time, I tweeted out at Knicks Central. You can see the tweets. I was so proud that they did not go after the tier 2 stars like Jimmy Butler, like Tobias Harris, like those guys, and just sign max players to sign max players. They went, got Julius Randle. They got Bobby Portis. They got Elfrid Payton. They got Reggie Bullock. They got guys. And they just said, you know what? Let's go. Fizdale sucked as a coach. They got a good coach and they were in the playoffs. And now look at them, and it's just, it would have been a big mess, so I'm happy to see, We don't know where this team can go, and that's
I understand your excitement, but I mean your excitement level is over competence. My excitement level is to try to win a championship.
Yeah, no, well, I'm excited because maybe one day the Knicks could actually win a championship.
But I'm in that.
They're building
window.
the foundation.
They're in that. They're in that window.
You're in that window. Yeah, you're in that window.
Yeah, it's a shit show in a lot of ways because Kyrie Irving's going on. But also they have two of the top 7 players in the league, and this team has serious potential to win a championship. And I've been very nice about the Knicks the last 2 months, and we're in this love fest right now. But there is potential for things to not go well for them. Julius Randle was a disaster in the playoffs. What if he regresses? What happens? What happens if Kemba Walker isn't healthy? Then what happens? And RJ Barrett stalls. The team's screwed. So there's a lot of excitement, but there's also a lot of negative. If you're going to compare the Nets and the Knicks, on the surface, it looks like the Nets have a lot of issues because of the Kyrie thing. But in reality, the question marks surrounding both teams aren't even close.
No, but it's not just a surface thing with the Kyrie issues. That's a real thing. That's a real issue. And if this doesn't get fixed, it's going to fester and it's going to be a problem because they're going to have to answer questions all the time. Like I said, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Eventually, a player is going to snap and be like, enough, dude. Like, I don't care about Kyrie. And eventually the Nets are going to go out without Kyrie at home, beat the Lakers at home, right? Beat them by 20 without Kyrie. And the first question that Joe Harris is going to get I keep bringing up Joe Harris. I'm sorry. The first question Patty Mills is going to get in the locker room after he goes for 15 and 7 and it hits the game-winning shot or whatever, even if it win by whatever it is, beat the Lakers at home. They're going to be like, oh, well, how do you feel about Kyrie saying that he's still not going to get vaccinated? They're going to be like, fuck Kyrie. That's what they're going to say. Eventually, in their minds, somebody's going to snap, and it's going to fester. Even if it's not on the surface, it's going to fester, and it's going to be a problem. And it's just, this was the wishy-washiness of this guy from the start, and it's just, you have your window, and that's exciting, but it's way more stressful for you where you might be losing your window a little bit, even if you have Durant and Harden at healthy. I shouldn't say losing your window. It's just smaller than what you thought, but it's still open right now, even without Kyrie and just Durant and Harden. It's still open. That's still two of the best players. The window is open,
and I will deal with a bad media day and everything around it to win a championship, and that's their window. They're in it. They can do it. So I get, and I don't want to minimize how you feel and how excited you are, and you should be because of all the crap that had gone through with that franchise and the bad coaches and management, etc. But that doesn't mean that the Knicks are in a better situation. Now, maybe you don't want to be where the Nets are. Maybe you wouldn't want to sign up for that. But I'll tell you right now, Alex, if I'm going down as one of the 17 people in that parade in Brooklyn at the end of June, I'm going to be pretty fucking excited. And there is nothing that anybody can do to take that away from me. No matter how much chaos, no matter how much drama there was, this is, like I said, the Nets sold their soul. They're in it. Here they go. We'll see what happens. Durant's been Harden's been great since he's gotten here. He's been the greatest teammate. He's been great. Yeah. Durant is Durant on Twitter. He's Durant there. But as far as
Durant, he's fine. Yeah,
he's been great. The Nets nucleus is strong, and there will be people that try to can it last? If this lasts with Kyrie Irving, that will remain to be seen. That will remain to be seen. But that's why it will be fun to actually talk about this stuff and talk about the games and talk about what brings
happening. It brings it back with Kyrie with all this mess. You're like, oh, if it just goes away, then who cares? And it brings it back to the question: why did you get the damn vaccine already? If you're gonna get it anyway, and you're gonna go through all this mess. Why even do this? Why even have this problem? You knew what was going to happen. You've been around the block enough. You know what's going to happen. He just wants the attention. If he gets a vaccine, he just wanted the attention of media day and getting his followers up on Instagram so he can rival LeBron's followers on Instagram or something. Who knows? Yeah, who knows what's going on there? Because there's no logic to getting the vaccine after going through this mess. Why would you want to put yourself in this mess? You just want to say, respect my privacy? Is that like your thing?
I think he really is against the vaccine. I really do. I think it's that, I do. I think he's just against the vaccine. I don't think
that's fine. That's his choice. And that's his choice. And if that's what you are, then I don't think it's a
social media thing. I think he's an anti-vaxxer. I mean, I really do.
And that's fine. I have friends that don't want to get vaccinated. Sometimes we argue. I believe he should. And I have other friends that don't want to get it, but they're not anti-vaxxer. They're just like, you know what? I just don't want to get it right now. I want to wait. And that's fine. They work jobs, so they don't have to get it yet. But if your job is demanding you to get it, you're gonna get it, and you're gonna be like the few teachers who are suing the city in New York City because they don't want to get vaccinated when they're mandating it. They're gonna end up quitting their jobs because the city's not gonna put students and people at risk. So it's just
the difference is, Alex. I love Kyrie Irving has so much control and so much power because of what he holds over the Nets, because of what he can bring from a talent level. Teachers are the best. They're great. But
I know.
It's Kyrie Irving. It's just, it goes without saying, this is the NBA and this is power. And he has the power. And he knows that. He knows he has the power. So I'm interested, though, over time, if this is a battle he can't win. And I'll be curious to see that.
Back after this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
All right, we do have a lot more to get to. I know because this is a very passionate, heated topic.
Talk about this all the time, and we didn't even get to the Jets. But who cares about the Jets? They suck. The Giants suck. It's not worth talking about. Salah doesn't know what he's doing. Their coaching staff is inexperienced. Okay, who cares? Zach Wilson played well, just a bunch of drops. Anyway, somebody called Corey Davis Walmart DK Metcalf. It made me laugh. Walmart DK Metcalf.
That's good.
Corey Davis. That was really funny. That made me laugh. But
anyway, the Giants lost. I like Corey Davis. Both teams are 0-3. Giants and Jets have been the worst teams in the NFL since the year 2017. So we got the Nets and Knicks coming up, which is exciting.
At least we're not the Lions losing on a 66-yard field goal. That's incredible. To the Ravens. That's incredible. Dude. That's only Detroit. That's the kind of stuff that make Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders retire early from their team. They're just like, yo, I'm out of here. Forget this. But that kept me alive in my suicide pool. My survivor pool. I had the Ravens and that kept me alive. So I was pretty happy about that.
All right. Well, we have been doing the FanDuel Bad Weather Fans League, which has been a lot of fun. This is the first week I did not win, but we did have we did have another great listener win. Eater, he was the winner. He did a fantastic job. He got like 702 points. He had everybody great. He did awesome.
A pro.
So
he was a ringer.
The deal is, if you win, you get to come on Bad Weather Fans. So we'll talk Nets, we'll talk Knicks, and we'll get into the rivalry a little bit, and then just growing up a Knicks fan. So again, congratulations, Eater. Here's our convo with this week's Bad Weather Fans winner. And the fans keep on coming and they keep on winning. Well, this time, Alex, we have to say we actually had somebody that came on to the FanDuel Bad Weather Fans League and actually won. The last week, technically, I was the winner. I don't care what anybody says. I did get the win. But this week, it does go to Eater. He does get the victory. He is number one. He gets the win. But I have to be honest, because your FanDuel name, I won't say what the name is, but you've got like all these check marks and stars next to you. You might be a FanDuel pro, right? I mean, you are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this season I've gotten past like 1,000+ contests. I guess that's how they rate it, or that's how they go. First, I did more than 500 contests, entered 1,000 contests, and now, I mean, I'm gonna keep going.
There you go. So Eater's at BKE Cali on Twitter. So I'm sure a lot of Knicks fans follow you and interact with you often. We've been tweeting each other a long time. Mike, I just stepped on your question. I apologize. But what would you want to say?
Fine. No, it's got to go on the Nets question. All I wanted to know was how many when you're playing FanDuel basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you use the Nets a lot, correct?
Yeah, but their salary is too high sometimes. The only person I consistently use would be Kevin Durant. That's about it.
If he plays.
Here's who you'll be using a lot this year. You ready? This is going to be the sneaky value play.
Patty
Mills. Because Kyrie will be the home and away splits. Patty Mills, big time player to use. I'm saying that right now. Alex, calling that.
I used to use him when he was with the Spurs as well. He gives you some good points. But yeah,
he's the backup.
Kevin Durant's always like I think they have like a small forward on FanDuel. I'm not sure, but Kevin Durant's the guy to go to.
There you go. So where are you from, Eater? From New York?
Yeah. I'm in the Bronx right now. Currently, I live in the Bronx. Been here for the past 9 years. I'm originally from Brooklyn.
Oh, so bouncing around.
In Brooklyn for 26 years.
Oh wow.
What part of Brooklyn?
It's called Borough Park. Park. It's like right in between like Sunset Park and
where my people are. Well,
yeah, not that far. Not that far from there. Yeah.
It has to be then super duper annoying. I mean, because you're obviously a lifelong Knicks fan. You grew up a Knicks fan. There was no team in Brooklyn when you were growing up. There were in my neck of the woods in Jersey. How annoying is it to see the Nets in Brooklyn?
Here's the thing. It's the fans. It's the fans that are annoying.
Agree.
The team, not really. Ever since when did they come? In 2012, 13?
2012.
Wait, D. Will, Brooke Lopez, I think Joe Johnson.
Right.
I didn't have. They didn't like annoy me as they do now, right? But the fans now are saying, "Oh, we're taking over New York. We're taking over New York." You haven't even taken over Brooklyn yet.
Damn.
So
see,
that's the way it's gonna be. I feel like all these Brooklyn Nets fans are just players, fans of the players. Like they're fans of Kyrie, they're fans of KD, they're fans of Harden. That's why, like Mike, I respect you because I knew you're a Jersey fan since back in the day.
Day one, yeah.
No, I appreciate that. I understand that sentiment. I personally do enjoy seeing how annoyed Knicks fans are getting at that fact. Like what you said there, a lot of it's true, and I enjoy that it annoys you. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. It gives me a little joy to know that you're annoyed with the Net fan, how annoying they are. So if that makes any sense, I'm enjoying your annoyance.
This is another thing, okay? I'm Knicks, Jets, and Yankees, right? I don't hear no Mets fans or Giants fans. We're taking over New York, or we're at the top of New York. Each of those organizations have their own fan base already. Like,
and they know their role. They know their role.
Yeah, they've been here for decades, right? But
yeah,
Brooklyn just came over with their billboards. I think it was right across the street from Madison Square Garden, like takeovers or something like that. Like, no.
Yeah. The blueprint to success, I think it was, because it was the Jay-Z's Blueprint album and the takeover and the whole. Yeah, no, it was a mess. It was a mess. And I agree what you said with a lot of Nets fans right now are fans of the players. I always say this to Mike on this podcast, and I'm sure you've heard, where it's like in a couple of years after the Nets fall off or these stars are not there anymore, we'll see if they really have a big fan base, if the fans are still there after these big stars are gone and they're back to being a regular team, quote unquote. Do you agree with that?
No, yeah, of course. Like I said, when they made that trade for KG and Paul Pierce, right? There was a lot of talk about that. That's the team. That's the team to be in the East. I mean, I think during that time, LeBron was with the Heat.
Second round they lost the Heat in 5. Was the first.
Yeah, they weren't going to have a chance.
Sports Illustrated cover and everything, right? Brooke Lopez gets hurt, of course, and that was the end of that.
Right after that happened, they had 3 or 4 years of just
nothing.
Nothing until they made that hire of Kenny Atkinson. Made some trades for D'Lo. They started becoming, relevant. I guess. I guess, right? And then after
got their 6-seed championship. They
almost as good as
the free agency 2 years ago that they won. Again, you could call that another championship.
Another off-season championship. Yeah, I know.
All right.
Hey, well, I'm hoping this season ends in an NBA championship. And I think I can't speak for you guys. I think their roster is good enough as constructed. I think they have a lot of good players, and I think they can win a title this year. So I'm banking on a championship to happen. I think they're good enough to even win a title without Kyrie Irving. I think they could be that. I think their roster is that deep where they could at least have an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Kyrie playing. I think it makes them a better team, but I think they're that deep. They can win a title, even if Kyrie Irving just quit basketball altogether.
No, yeah. I feel also like KD and Harden, they're unstoppable. Obviously, you would want Kyrie there, but
yeah,
if you was to lose one of those, you'll be okay if you lose Kyrie, in my opinion.
Yeah, of the three. No, I agree. I agree with you on that one.
No, yeah, for sure. So what are your thoughts on the Knicks going into the season? I don't know if you saw any of the media day stuff today, or what are your thoughts on how far they can go?
That's actually why I got your message so late, or why I found out that I was going to be on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was out all day. I didn't watch no Jets game.
Good for you.
I was out. I got home late. like
Mhm.
around 10. I saw the end of the Packer game. Um, and then early in the morning went to work. Right, so I wasn't on Twitter the whole day.
Uh-huh.
I went on break. I was on break. Now I'm like, okay, let me go see. I see you. I see the tweet that you posted.
Like we don't know who won.
Right.
We don't know who this person is.
Who are you?
Right. So I'm like, but at that time, they were mentioning today was, I guess, media day for the Knicks.
Right.
I didn't really get to see any videos on it. I just scrolled, but I guess once we get off, I'll start watching, see what went on. I also saw that you did post the poll question.
Yeah.
I
What were your thoughts on that? The win total,
40.
I guess.
Win total,
40?
Between 40, 49. Between 40, 49.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the options, 40, 49.
Yeah. It was we're gonna do the poll question a little bit on the show, but it was what's your win total in training camp, Knicks fans?
Ooh.
So obviously 65 plus one. No, I'm just kidding. So it was like 30, 39, 40, 49, 50, 59, and then 60 plus were the options.
Yeah. I picked 40. They have to have at least more than 41 wins. They got 41 last year with just 72 game season. But the East got tough. The East got better. The East got better. I would say between 40, 46, 44, 46 games. 44,
that's a good target. And I feel like that's fair. And I think the only thing that can make it better is RJ Barrett. If he takes a huge step, like Randall did last year to 2 years ago to last year, which is weird that we have to talk in different terms. Time is flying. But if RJ Barrett takes a big step, then the Knicks can really reach that, could sniff that 50-win plateau if RJ Barrett takes a step.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and then the improvement of Chicago. But I feel like they're overrated. I feel like
big names, right?
That chemistry. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna have that good chemistry. But gotta wait and see. Obviously, the Bucks, the Nets. I don't know what's going on with Ben Simmons, the Sixers.
Yeah, Sixers are a mess. That Sixers Kyrie Ben Simmons trade doesn't look so bad now, Mike, doesn't it?
I still wouldn't do it. I am so adamant on that. I would not trade Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons, even with all this chaos and bullshit going on. I wouldn't do it. It's just from a talent standpoint and a skill. I mean, I as I said earlier, I do believe that it eventually will work itself out where he will be on the court. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where this will all be going, but I think eventually he will be playing basketball. And the funny thing is, like, Ben Simmons is not exactly lovable guy number one for as much shit as there was with Kyrie. Everybody at media day and his teammates were all saying the right things, and maybe they're just saying the right things. I don't know. But meanwhile, Ben Simmons and his teammates don't even talk. So who's to say Ben Simmons comes to Brooklyn and all of a sudden is like, Ben, let me give you a hug. You're such a great guy, Ben. I love you so much. I'm going to help you shoot threes. Like, where's I don't know. I think, as crazy as it sounds, there's no respect for him anywhere across the league. People might think Kyrie's got his shit, but there's respect there. And I think that's a big difference.
No, yeah, of course. And I think, isn't he like the vice president or something of like,
yes,
that Players Association? Something like that. So
he's involved.
Obviously, they have to be. He has to be voted in there, so obviously there's some respect in there. But I mean, I wouldn't make that trade either. Ben Simmons for Kyrie. If I was an Nets fan, I wouldn't like that trade if that happened.
Thank you. Oh my God, the national media is gravitating towards that one. It's like,
well, it's just an easy puzzle to put together there. But at the same time, at this point, then Kyrie, even if they tried to trade him, even the Nets tried to trade Kyrie, I don't know what they would even get for him, because he's now isn't vaccinated, so that lowers his value. He's every year there's some kind of drama around him, and he's never healthy in the playoffs as well. So how much is his value really? I mean, at this point, obviously pure talent wise, he's one of the best players in the NBA, but it's not just about talent,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. From that standpoint, I have no idea how to answer that question. That might even that's such a difficult one to answer. Who knows? All right. Well, I asked this last week, so I'll continue the train this week. 2-part question: where do the Knicks end? And then, well, I guess it's all in one question. Where do the Knicks end? Where do the Nets end when it's all said and done? Whatever you say right now will come true. But you got to be honest. Just be honest.
Let's say the Knicks have to be at least 4, 5, 6 seed.
Second round. We going?
Second round.
Second round.
They have to.
Who are they losing to?
Ooh, I mean, it might be the Bucks. I guess. I mean, it depends where they're seated, but
Mike's fishing. He's fishing.
We'll meet the Bucks probably in the second round and get bounced from there. But definitely second round. We have to make it to the second round. At least to see some success or something that we're building. Yes, we made it to the playoffs last year, 5-game exit, but now first round we have to get to the second. The Nets, if they stay healthy, they're winning. And I'm a LeBron fan. So I went for them. I go for a LeBron-led team, except when he was with Miami. But when he was with Miami, I was not a LeBron fan.
Nobody was, but Miami, but the Heat fans. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm no Heat fan, Pacers fan, Bull fan. I know that's because of the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Eater, thanks for coming on. You're a man of your word, because on September 19th at 10:56 a.m. Eastern time, you tweeted, "I'll be on the podcast soon." So you're a man of your word. You won the second week that we did this contest, and you were a great spot. I really appreciate you coming on. I look forward to continuing our conversations on Twitter, and maybe you'll be on the show again next week. We don't know. We'll see if you win again.
If not, I'll do like what Mike did. Let the second place person go on or something.
Poor Eric. Poor Eric.
Gotta give a shout out.
Oh, Dolan J. Trump. They make the Knicks great again hat. See, and now you just boosted his ego. Just got even bigger.
I'm blurring that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Make the Knicks great again. Make the Knicks great. Whatever that hat said.
Make Knicks great again. Yes.
There you go. Those hats they're just seeing them all over the city. So we do have our trivia that's coming up that is sponsored by the great Dolan _ Trump. Buy his merch, get all his shit. We'll get to his trivia in a little bit in a second. But first, Alex,
Eater was great, man. Eater was great.
Yes. And the poll question he did reference, he brought it up. So we'll get to the full version of it now. How many wins? I voted, by the way.
You did. Did you vote? Well, okay, let's read it first. Knicks fans, what is your pre-training camp win total prediction? Comment below why you picked the total. 60 plus, 50 to 59, 40 to 49, 30 to 39. Mike, your vote was what?
60 plus. It was.
And your vote does not count because you are not a Knicks fan. I specifically said Knicks fans, unless you're trying to become a Knicks fan. Okay. You're on the show, so you get
I'm on the show. I get the vote.
What do you think won?
40 to 49.
Yeah, easy. 65% said 40 to 49. 25% said 50 to 59%. 4.3% said 30 to 39, and then 5% said 60 plus. So Mike and Coach Fa and all the homers said 60 plus. Just kidding. I love you, Fa. So yeah. Anyway, he knows. That's my dude. But all right. So let's see. We have some shout outs. We have Michael Broussard. He's at Mike Broussard. 40 to 49 wins. ... Mitch Robinson is a big part of the defense. Block shots, rebound, screen, and roll. His health is a big part of their success. He was sorely missed against Atlanta in the playoffs last season. That is very true. They did not have Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs, but the Hawks did not have what was it, Cam Reddish or somebody in the playoffs also. So, but Mitchell Robinson, I think is I don't want to say a little better. That's a stupid argument. So anyway, then we have RJ Felton. He's at RJ Felton 1. I think the middle of the pack. Not really impressed with the roster as constructed. When compared to the top teams in the East, it's all about getting stars. So I don't know what you voted for, RJ, but thank you. Then we have our boy Ant at Anthony the Don. He was actually in our FanDuel group this week.
Yeah, he did terrible.
Sorry, Anthony. He voted 50 to 59. The team improved at pretty much every position while keeping a lot of guys together. Upgrading players plus continuity equals success. So I agree. This season is, like I said, this season is all about RJ Barrett. You know, if he takes a step, this team could be really, really, really good.
Man, I hope they're garbage.
I know.
I hope Evan Fournier is so bad.
Let's see.
32% from 3.
Oh, here, Mike Nelson, another one that was in our FanDuel group, at MDNELLIE. So that's MD Nelly. My heart says 50 to 59. My head says 40 to 49. So that's my vote. I don't think they are catching anyone by surprise next year. And that is true. It's going to be different this year. People are going to have the Knicks on their schedule and not think it's nothing. But I think in the beginning of last season, the Knicks took people by surprise. But by the middle to the end of the season, people knew who the Knicks were. You knew you had to show up and play those days, besides the Nets players, because they choose and pick and choose when they want to play. Let's see. Good response. Threw me off my joke. Then we have, let's see, who else can we do? Oh, Rick D, as you know, at F the GOP 5. I thought it was F the God. So F the GOP, GOP 5. Maybe he's a Republican. I'm thinking big here, 50. Like I said, what am I going to say? What does it all count on this season, Mike? Say it for me.
It all counts on. I can't remember. If you don't mind, I'll have to go back. And
R.J. Barrett. Are you familiar with R.J. Barrett? Have you heard of him?
Yes, he was the third pick. He went to Duke. He was selected behind Zion Williamson, who went to Duke, and John Morant.
And with the third pick, I make the earth sick. Jay-Z line. So, one of your ex-owners. I don't know if you ever knew that. So then we have David Wyatt Hupton. He's at D. Wyatt Hupton. I'm going 50 because I need some positivity here. David is a reporter for the Jet. He's a reporter for the Jets. So he for Gangrene Nation, he probably is just tired of watching garbage football. And it's like, I want to see a good team. So I agree. Watching football on Sunday, especially for the Jets, the Giants at least were in the game, and you can actually watch and be like, hope that they can win at the end. The Jets were just it was a death by 1,000 paper cuts in that game, where it's just like the week before too, the same thing, where it's just you're watching and you're getting nothing. Yeah, thank God there's more games. Let's see, one more. Our boy Bobby B. Is that his name? Yeah, Bobby B. He changes his name all the time. He's at Rude Boy MYK. He says 45 wins. I'm basically tempering my expectations some and leaving room to exceed expectations. Otherwise, I can't wait. Looking forward to see my Knicks play again, especially with the sorry state of the Giants and the Mets. Yeah, it's pretty sorry.
Can I give one shout out? This is a different tweet, but it did make me laugh, and I sent it to you. It was from at NBA_New York basketball, and they tweeted found a solution at Brooklyn Nets at Kyrie Irving, and it was the New Jersey Nets logo. And I just thought that was very creative. Move them to Jersey.
Let's go. Get them out of here. Go back to Izod. Don't even go to the Rock. Go to the Izod.
Continental Airlines. Yeah, man.
Or Brendan Byrne. Let's do the Brendan Byrne.
Good job by you. At Nick Central is your Twitter handle. I'm at Mike Delivers Pod. That's where you can find us on Twitter, and love all the reaction that we do get and all those great responses to the Knicks poll question. I know Alex enjoys reading them, and I enjoy giving sarcastic responses as he reads them. It's always good.
Yes.
Bull and J Trump, it's the trivia. We've been doing this. We originated where we wanted to, Alex would give me, hey, this is episode number 7. Like, can you name a net that was your number 7? Now we've gotten to the point, obviously, we're in the 80s, so things have changed a little bit. Dolan stepped in, former Net fan, now a Knick fan. Buy his merch, buy his gear, get his shit. It's all good stuff. It supports him. So he's come up with all these great trivia questions, and we do it each week. Last week we destroyed him. You were at the very last second with DeMar Johnson, which is the very, very last second. And then I had Michael Cage within 5 seconds.
Yeah, Michael Cage was too easy. I told you when I read you the question last week, I told you you're gonna get this.
Yeah.
DeMar Johnson, I pulled that one out of my behind in the last second. I don't know. It just, the name popped in my head. I'm like, it's gotta be this guy. And then 6th pick in the draft kind of helped me there.
Well, let me pull back the curtain a little bit real quick. Something we're trying to do is, if we can, some of these trivia people, I'm trying to get them on the show. So we texted Michael Cage to come on. We sent him the video clip of me getting the answer. No response. Probably thought that was
it doesn't help
thing he saw.
You told me he was a green, so he has a Droid, and you have the iPhone. So sending a video to him was probably some grainy nonsense. He probably got a text video of some grainy people talking, and he's probably, what the, all right, dude, and probably didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, next time, but I added him on Twitter on one of the responses to see if he would respond, but it
didn't work. All right, you read first because I read first last time.
All right. This is mostly a Nets episode anyway today. So sorry, Knicks fans. We'll get more Knicks later. But we talk some, actually. Anyway, let me shut up and read the question. So here's the first clue. He wore number 26 during the 2010 season. His only season in New Jersey and last season in the NBA.
2010.
2010.
Number 26. So 2010, his last season in New Jersey. Okay, this is tough.
Next.
Keep going.
He played for 7 different teams during his 6-year career.
7 different teams during his 6-year career. Number 26, 2010, last year in New Jersey. Okay, keep going.
So he played for 2 teams in 1 year, if you're not able to put that together, just so you know.
So he was traded or cut.
Yes.
Signed.
A 6'6" swingman. He started 28 games for the Nets, but averaged only 3.4 points per game.
Sounds about right. Okay.
Sounds like a New Jersey Net at that time.
This is Nolan texted me. This is one of his favorite Nets of all time, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
surprising when
you he shares a similar bond with Jason Collins and Brooke Lopez.
Okay, so that's the big clue. So it's okay. That's a big clue. Unless the clue is he went to Stanford, and that's the trick. Unless he's trying to trick me, and he's not a twin.
I don't know.
All right,
I don't know
going.
where Jason Collins went to school. I gotta be honest.
They went to Stanford.
They both
went to Stanford.
He was undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent in 2005 and played for Houston, Cleveland, and Chicago during his rookie season.
Wow.
So he played for 3 teams in his rookie season, or he played for 3 teams. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Is this
weird
should
word?
I know this?
I think you would. I think
when I hear it, I should have been like,
I've heard the name. Yeah, so I feel like you would know it. You know, there were a couple times where I was just, who the hell is that? But this one I definitely have heard of. He attended the University of Central Florida, but transferred to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I don't know why I said Oklahoma that way. Sorry, I fumbled my word. Oklahoma State.
So he's got a twin brother.
Or he went to Stanford. We don't know.
No, he just said he didn't go to Stanford. He said he went to.
Oh yeah, there you go. You're right. See, I'm.
So
losing.
He's got a twin brother. Yeah, that's it, right?
That's it.
Is it a Graham?
It is.
Graham.
What's the first name?
Yeah, I knew it was a Graham. I got that part. The Oklahoma part clicked. Something Graham.
That is not his first name.
It's not his first name. Oh.
Something is not his first name.
Oh my god! I want to say
very generic name. It's a very generic name.
Yeah. All right. Michael Graham.
No.
What is it?
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham. But I knew it was a Graham.
Yeah, he was
a
Graham.
Half credit.
You got it. I'll give it to you. Then he played. Wow, I'm looking at his Wikipedia. He played for he was in the G League, and then he was the Rockets, Bulls, Cavs, Blazers, Pacers, Bobcats, Nets. Then he went back to the G League and then overseas. And now he's worked. Oh no, he doesn't. He worked for the Nuggets for a couple of years, and now I don't know what he's doing. Wikipedia lost track of him. So that is your jersey number trivia for the Nets.
I'll go half. I didn't get it, but it wasn't bad.
You said Graham. I mean, that was tough. That was tough.
Graham popped in my head, but the first name eluded me. All right, here we go. He wore number 4 during the 2014 season, his only year in New York.
Flalo.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
At 6'7", he averaged 6 points, 4 boards, and started 22 games.
Quincy Acey.
Yep.
Easy, dude. Come on, man. These are easy. Quincy Acey almost killed somebody on the court on a fight once. I forgot. I think it was John Wall or somebody. He went after him like he wanted to kill him. And that was the famous video of Jason Smith. He picked up the ball. Or no, it was Jason Smith. It was Cole Aldridge. Picked up the ball and just turned around and walked away. During the fight, he's just like, I got no time for this. I'm not getting suspended, kind of a situation. That shows how together that team was back then.
Yeah, he played for 6 different teams during his 7-year career. He was drafted 37th in 2012 by the Raptors. His career ended after the 2018 season as a Sun. He was acquired by the Knicks in the deal with Sacramento, which involved Nets legends Travis Outlaw, Wayne Ellington, 2 players who Brooklyn Nets fans have never heard of. He attended Baylor. Quincy Acey.
Yep. Easy
Money sniper.
Yeah. Except I'm not Durant. and I get all his answers, all the trivia answers. That was easy.
You're crushing it lately.
Yeah.
Steve, I should've known
He got
Steven.
me. He got me on Wilcox that one time. That pissed me off so much. I should have known Wilcox. And then the other one.
Man,
what
I
other one
got
did he
you
get me?
on what's his name? The guy that was on the team last year or 2 years ago.
Oh, Damian Dotson. That was too easy. I couldn't get it. It was too easy.
Yeah, I know.
You're like number 21. I'm like, Shumpert?
He was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Did he do well or did he lose?
He did okay the first round. I watched it.
Yeah. I should have watched that.
And then,
It's something that Hannah could have got into because when we first started dating, that was the 54 win year. It was the first year. She's like, wow, the Knicks are awesome. I'm like, what did you like? You're the good luck charm to her. It's kind of like with your baby Ryan. All he's seen are Nets being awesome. Like he doesn't understand. I know he doesn't understand much right now. He's a little over 1 year old, but his entire life has been the Nets have been awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets to see a title this year when he turns. When's his birthday? September. So he'll still be one if they won the title. Bad Weather Fans episode.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Alex.
That's like me with the 86 Mets. I was born in November of 84. Yeah. So I was born November 84. So I was like, not even 2 years old. So
Bad Weather Fans episode number 84, the Kyrie Irving vaccination episode, which it has become. Next week we will talk more sports. I promise. Trust me. It's gonna. You think you're getting sick of hearing it? We're getting sick talking about it.
We're done.
It had to be addressed for obvious reasons. Hey guys, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. Apple, Spotify, gives us 5 stars. Leave a comment. Join the Bad Weather Fans Fantasy Football League. Alex and I will tweet that out later in the week at Nick Central, at Mike Delivers Pod. Give it your best shot. Thank you to Eater for coming on today's episode and representing well all of you Bad Weather fans. And on YouTube, check it out. Type in Bad Weather Fans. You can see the video version of this bad boy. Alex, the Nets play on Sunday. They play the Lakers. When do the Knicks play?
Do they? I have no idea.
So we'll have the Net Lakers to talk about, I guess, a little bit, which will be kind of
season
cool.
Nets Lakers. They're probably more exciting than the Jets and Giants games, But I don't even know when the Knicks play their preseason games. It's not even in my head at all. But hopefully it's soon, and we should end on some positivity because good for Yankees fans. I mean, the Knicks play October 5th, so next Tuesday. But congrats to the Yankees fans. At least there's some kind of positivity in New York. I don't want the Yankees to win, but they're New Yorkers too. So we have something to be proud of.
Rangers will make the playoffs.
Islanders fans are good. I guess those teams are good, but nobody cares about hockey. And now we're here. So
don't piss off the hockey fan. Although we probably don't have many hockey fan crossover listeners.
It's either or. You're either basketball or hockey. You can't. It's hard to be a diehard hockey and basketball fan. They play at the same time. It's very very difficult.
To catch them all. It's absurd. Very difficult. Congrats again on getting the Dolan Trump question right. Check out his merch. I kind of got it right. I'm not going to buy his merch, but I suggest if you're a Knicks fan that you go ahead and do it. This has been episode number 84. Alex, good stuff as always. We'll see you next week, and enjoy the rest of your week, my friend.
Peace.